Mom and Dad, yes, for 2 weeks, yeah, time ago.
And we'd like to thank One Time Plumber for sponsoring our KRIM Community Spotlight program. Good morning, Rim Country. Chris Higgins in the studio on this beautiful Thursday morning here in Payson. And it's supposed to be, I think, up around 70 degrees today. So another beautiful day here in Rim Country. Hope you can get out and enjoy it. This morning on our Community Spotlight program, we're going to be talking about Payson Elementary School and Julia Randall Elementary School with the principals from those schools. The principal of PES, Linda Scovile. Good morning, Linda.
Good morning, Chris. Thank you for the invitation.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you for coming on this morning. And principal for JRE, Kim Yates.
Good morning, Chris. Thanks for having us here.
Oh, you're very, very welcome. It's great to hear about all the wonderful things that are happening in the school district. I feel like, at least here, we probably highlight, or there's more opportunities, I guess I should say, to talk about or talk with people, high school students. I can't recall, let me see, having any elementary school students in on our program. And, you know, there's some good reasons for that.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to herd cats, you know, but just, you know, because of the ages and what they're involved in, all the CTE programs, sports programs, and so on. So it's good to not forget about our little ones, because I would have to think, and probably, you know, most people know, this is the most important time in children's lives.
We couldn't agree more.
Elementary school, and you know, it's setting the foundation for who they're going to be, or the students they're going to be when they get into middle school and high school. So it's great to have you on and feature the little people, the little ones, you know, and how they're doing, and all of the great things that you guys are doing, and the teachers, the faculty in both PES and JRE.
Well, and don't forget our amazing community.
Yes.
That passed the override. It's huge for
Yay,
our district.
Yes.
Their vote of support and confidence was, I can't even describe how good that felt.
Overwhelming
Overwhelming
vote of support and confidence by over 2,200 votes. So that is overwhelming.
Yeah. It just emphasizes how important it is to have that community support along with families and the school. It makes all the difference for students.
So was there a very large collective sigh of relief from everyone in the school district, you know, when they saw the results? It was like,
maybe, but I think a lot of it was we knew our community came through for us. From talking to parents, you're always a little worried.
Yeah.
But talking to parents and getting out and talking to members of the community at football games and at different activities, in the back of our minds and in our hearts, we knew we had the support of Payson. We just can't say thank you enough.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because the impact is felt district-wide, so all the way from high school down to PES, the littlest of the little ones, you know, the kindergartners.
So we were so fortunate to have assemblies where we were honoring students right afterwards. And I was so thankful to parents during our award ceremonies. And you could almost, some of them were like, it passed, like they didn't even know yet that it had passed. Just the excitement that kind of rippled through even for our parents as we went through the day and went through our assemblies. So that was awesome, and they were all so thankful also that it passed. So that was a great feeling. I'm not as sound as Kim. I still have my little worry, but she's got it. I had a little worried inside, but I was so happy.
Yes.
And we get to see the cool things that are going on in the schools. We don't get as many community members that come through, although we would welcome people if they wanted to come and see those things. But this just kind of gives us momentum now. We just got off of a conference, a response to intervention, a national conference, things we're implementing in our schools to make sure every kid is getting the education that they need, meeting the kids where they are behaviorally, academically, and pushing them to be the best they can be. So that momentum of the override carries us into this great training we're having and some great things that are happening in our schools, and we're picking up speed.
Well, and I was thinking about that before the program, and I forget who was on, and we were talking about this, but advancements in education. And I remember it was PE teacher, physical education, who, oh my God.
Did you have Tanya on, or did you have?
Tanya
Mandy
and
Smith.
Mandy.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Tanya
Yeah.
and Mandy.
Yeah.
And thank you. Sorry, Mandy. You're watching, sorry. Yeah, you know, and just where the advancements, where, you know, it is now, whether it's PE, and I was thinking about it, and, you know, elementary education, it's so much more advanced than it was 20, 30 years ago, or when I was in elementary school, and just all the measurements, I mean, the techniques, the training, just, it's done at such a higher level. I don't think maybe some people understand that.
And it's not just about dodgeball
Yeah.
or kickball.
I know, PE, I know, and yeah, the things that Mandy and Tanya were covering, it's like,
Right.
whoa, what they're looking at, and coordination development, I mean, just all of it.
And implementing sound teaching techniques.
Mhm.
So it's not, like I said, it's not just about one little piece of it. They're using our Avid strategies that we're learning, implementing note-taking and collaboration and close reading when they're learning rules and learning content. They're implementing these multi-tiered systems of support, helping meet the kids where they are. They're part of teams that look at student behaviors and how we can improve them. They're integral to every aspect of what we do in our school, not just the physical education. And they're expert teachers to boot. So their contribution is as powerful as a reading interventionist or a teacher who's teaching a grade level classroom.
Yeah.
I'm going to share with you a minute about Tanya because we were lucky to get her from the Valley. And she was a reading specialist, a teacher and a reading specialist before she decided to go into PE. And so what an amazing person that's looking for student growth in all areas. In her few breaks that she had during the day, she was meeting with our littlest, youngest readers that needed help too. So PE teacher, reading specialist, extraordinaire in both those levels. So I think that's one of the things that you see in our schools is people stepping up to step outside of what they maybe typically do in their day to help make improvements with our kids.
And you know what? It wasn't Tanya, now that I do remember, because
Tanya's getting a plug.
No, we need to get her on. I'd love to have her on. Beth Christensen.
Music teacher at JRE.
So it was
Beth and
Mandy and Beth and talking about their programs,
Yeah.
but music and just how that has evolved so much over the years.
And I'll just tell you, Chris, I'm a geek when it comes to research and that kind of stuff. And I started taking piano lessons at 5 years old. My mom got me into a piano teacher when I was 5.
Wow.
And then you learn about how that makes us cross over the center of our brain. So music promotes math, music promotes just all kinds of amazing things. And then you get somebody like Beth Christensen, who is a phenomenal musician herself, who has a heart for teaching music to kids. So she runs during recess time, she runs a keyboard class for 4th grade students or 5th grade students.
Gosh. Yeah.
She has the honor choir after school. And this month, our honor choir is running crazy, performing all over at different events. She does a handbell choir. You don't hear handbells very often. Just really cool programs that are teaching kids about music, access to music that they might not otherwise have.
Yeah, and a big part of the Veterans Day program every year, where she has her choir in there and they perform, and then she plays the piano for the PES and JRE Society.
She does, but it starts at PES. It really does start at PES, that love of all things that aren't academic, love of music, love of physical education. We share an art teacher between the two schools. JRE gets her in the fall. She moves over to PES for the spring semester. So she bridges, and when those 3rd graders come up, or 2nd graders to JRE, as third graders, she's this bridge, and they see her and they know someone, and it's helpful.
One of the things I've noticed a change over the years is it used to be where the schools were a lot more independent. So you had PES, you had different mascots, you had just, it seemed like they were more independent of each other, where now, just like you pointed out, Kim, there's more of a symbiotic relationship. They're working together more and preparing. So PES, like you said, is where it starts. But you know what is happening at JRE, so you're doing things most likely that are helping to prepare the children for JRE, and then JRE to RCMS, and RCMS to PHS, and so on.
Yeah, and so it's very nice because I was at JRE previously. And so I know the teachers, I know the staff, I know Kim from doing what she's been doing. And so it's really easy now for us to go, this is what, and actually as we're planning through these great conferences that we've been at, we're working on some math standards, and I said, okay, I need you guys to talk to third grade and see what their absolute must-have is, so that we can plan backwards and get second grade doing what third grade needs, first grade doing what second grade needs. And so as that coordination between schools, right, and we have a lot of professional development that is together. We were just at PES doing a professional development last Friday. And so teachers do come in once a month on Fridays for professional development, so that they are continuing their learning and doing better and more integral pieces, right, the things that help them. And we had such a great PD. We were working on technology. We were working on, what are other pieces? Interventions.
And it's not, like I just said, it's not just the academic side, it's also looking at the behavior side, so we're looking at the whole kid.
Right. But it was nice to have everybody together,
Yeah.
right? And I think that teachers appreciate being together instead of this divide, as you were talking about, that we've had so long ago, and still just those pieces that Kim and I can work well together, and we all can work well together. So it's not an us against them, which sometimes happens when you have a split elementary.
Yeah.
Well, and as a leadership team, for the last couple of years, we've been looking at what's our core value. And we really believe that it's connections, making connections, creating connections for our students, a culture of connections, but it starts with us and us having those connections. And so Linda and I are on the phone frequently, and we're trying to do things that align between our two schools, because we share families. And the easier we make it for them, the easier we're making it for our teachers and our staff, and working together. It's great to have that partnership in all directions.
And yeah, you really see that because they are split campuses, unlike RCMS and PHS, where they're neighboring, so it's maybe it is a little bit easier for them to do things together, coordinate. You just walk across the campus. You just go to the other side, and there you go. But with the physical or geographical separation between PES and JRE, it can be a little harder. So probably more effort or attention has to be paid to that to make it to where it's almost like one elementary school. Even though there's two different schools, but it's one school, so that transition from second grade into third grade is as smooth as possible.
Just two different buildings.
Just two different buildings.
Just two different buildings.
Yeah.
Right, and that's where the curriculum, right now we're looking at purchasing a math curriculum. It just kind of comes up every 5 years or so that we purchase curriculum. And so the two schools are working together at what's the best math curriculum to pick for all, K through 5. And so those are those big pieces, and we're not far off. Right? It's not that we want this and we want this. It's really that collaboration that happens between our schools at this point in time and between our teachers to pick what's best for kids.
Nice. So you mentioned training, and what were there any other things to discuss about that training, or what came out of that, or programs, new programs that are being implemented?
Well, PUSD has several major implementations, one of them being MTSS, which is the conference they just came back from. MTSS is multi-tiered systems of support. We're AVID schools. We're really proud of the AVID WICR strategies that we're implementing. WICR means writing, investigation, collaboration, organization, and reading. So for elementary, what that looks like is teaching strong study skills, organizational skills, but that's district-wide. So our students aren't going to walk into RCMS and throw away their binders that they've been making, and the PES students aren't walking into something new. They've heard Wicker, they know organization, they know taking notes for their notebook. It just might be at a developmentally appropriate level for those students.
Yes.
And so we've got AVID, we've got MTSS, and we've got Capturing Kids' Hearts, the Excel model that we've been using for years in the district. If Linda tees up at PES, every little Longhorn knows to tee up. If they come to JRE and we tee up, by tee we mean we should make this big T sign like a timeout. It gets everybody's attention. If I walk through the hallway and say, hey, check the social contract, every kid knows. And then when they go on to the high school, so that cohesion of programming is so strong. It's another element that connects us all and makes the journey for our students, it's not about us, it's about those students, and it makes their journey smoother and an easier transition.
Yeah, it's not like they're having to learn a new language, you know.
And that social contract is really our norms, our rules, how we're going to treat each other, how we want to be treated.
Yeah.
And so we do one as a staff at all of our schools, and then each of the teachers do one too. One of the things that also goes with Capturing Hearts is greeting at the door, like teachers handshake, how are you doing, and talking about good things in kids' lives and in our lives, sharing those pieces. One of the things that we just implemented was greeters at our front door, so when parents walk their kid up, that the greeter is there to say good morning to them. And so yes, a little young lady was up this morning doing it, and she's just so proud to stand at that door and be the person that says, welcome, come on in. And so that's one of the little things we just recently implemented, because we just try and go baby steps, right? So that nothing's too overwhelming for anybody. But both of our schools and all of our schools have been great schools with Capturing Kids' Hearts all the way through.
Yep.
So explain maybe, or can you go into a little bit the goal or the mission of Capturing Kids' Hearts?
Flip Flippin says when you have a child's heart, you have their mind. And it goes back to that research. Research tells us that if we want kids to be successful, we have to build relationships first. To ask them to do hard things, they have to trust the people who are doing those hard things. And so it's really all about building relationships, appropriate school-level relationships with kids so that they have the trust to try the next hard thing. We talk about 9 lead-worthy qualities. We're talking about things like teamwork, respect, responsibility, things that are the soft skills of life that propel kids to success in their adulthood. It's about how we run our meetings. A format that we use for running our meetings and having a launch at the end of our meetings that's a message that sends them off to do great things. And morning announcements, some parents may get on and watch our morning announcements for JRE. I tell them, every day you've got a choice about what kind of day you're going to have, so choose to make today a great day. My mom said that to me when I walked out the door to go to school. So we launch our students that way. That cohesiveness just builds, I can't say enough, builds the soft skills that are going to be more important as those kids move into their lives.
Yeah, a word that came to mind when you were explaining that, overwhelmed, where I think a lot of people these days, adults and children, can feel overwhelmed. And in school, we maybe don't think about it as an adult, as a parent, and just do your schoolwork, just come on, I mean, pay attention, just do this. But children can be overwhelmed as well. And it sounds like with the Capturing Kids' Hearts, the trust and also support. It sounds like support or encouragement is there, or kids knowing that, hey, we're here to support you, help you get through this.
Yep, it's a framework for their daily walk at school.
Yeah, and as you're talking about that, with that support and everybody's feeling overwhelmed, one of the things that I got from our last training with Capturing Kids' Hearts is my launch is put your fingers and your hands together, right? And I send them off. We love you, Longhorns. Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. We love you. And it was interesting because a parent was in there, and he just said, he goes, my dad never told me he loved me. And here you guys are sharing with everybody out here that we love you. And so he was just saying, it was just so powerful that this parent just happened to be there and happened to make the comment.
Wow.
And so it was like, okay, I got a little chilled, you know what I mean? Because it was one of those things where it's like, yeah, we need to tell people we love them. And we do love all of our kids. So.
Yeah, and you don't know, every child's situation, where it might be a case where they're not being told that they're loved at home, which is sad, but that's a reality. Or they could be in a home where they're told that all the time. So just to have that reinforced, or even to hear it for the first time, or the only time they hear it at school from their teachers, from staff, from people in the school, and and then it's shown to them as well, to where not just words, but it's shown to them through the actions.
And it's a consistent message from the classroom to the administrative offices to the pumpkin walk that we have in October. The expectation for how you're going to be at school is the same, And as you're bringing your families in, and we might check you, or we might, give you a great job for doing something amazing, it doesn't change.
Yeah.
When you get on the float for the homecoming parade, when you get on the hay wagon for the hayride, or if you're at the Veterans Day concert.
Yes.
It's that consistency across the way.
So you mentioned consistency, and that's very important, I think, for children especially. What are some of the challenges that you face keeping things consistent? Because I know that's hard, whether it's discipline, the academics, whatever it is, but what are some of the factors, I guess, that play into being consistent, in the schools?
Well, I really do believe, first off, we have some teachers that have been at PES that are now at JRE. JRE teachers that are now at PES. So we have that cross, so teachers know what we're doing together. When we do professional development together, we all get on the same page. We're all hearing the same thing. I think those are really big consistency pieces. I trust Kim that she's going to do what's right for the kids that we send on to her. We have conversations. This is a kiddo you're getting. This is what this kid needs. Right? These are parents that probably need a little bit more support also. So I feel like when there's conversations between us, there's conversations between teachers. And let me even throw in the littlest Longhorns, right? Our preschool.
Oh, that's
our
right.
preschool, right? Because then we've expanded our preschool. Thank goodness, right? We're getting more kiddos in there. And so we have 3 different teachers doing, I don't even know how many classes, you know what I mean?
They had 5 sessions altogether,
Wow.
2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon at Westerly, and then we have the full day preschool at JRE.
And so it's another one of those connections that we all make. We make them in leadership. Greta Cox is leading over there, and so she's part of our leadership team. And so between the 3 of us, we have those discussions, but it's also just a really strong leadership team that Ms. Gibson has put together for us. And when I say that, put together, she's organized for us, but we all run the meetings. Like it's not a stand and deliver type of meeting. Very active, very much growing ourselves in our meetings, and getting on the same page. And that is for that community. Like our kids are throughout our community. We have one community, right? And just so that we are all knowledgeable and can answer questions once kind of you start to hear people talking. Like, I mean, I truly have butted in the grocery store, and I said, oh, I have an answer for you. If I can get that fixed right then, right? If I can talk to somebody right then, so there's not this scuttle, you know, a little scuttlebutt going. And so, I know sometimes I should not do that, but sometimes I do.
Well, there's good collaboration outside of just Linda and I. Our instructional coaches, all the instructional coaches at each school get together and meet, and they calibrate amongst themselves. Our behavior intervention teachers get together and meet and calibrate amongst themselves. So again, when we're talking consistency, that's powerful. That connection across all 4 schools,
it's a powerful connection that they're making, and that helps us be consistent.
Yeah, I seem to remember thinking back to, being in school and kind of teachers, maybe going their own way, again, when I was in school and, and you'd go from class to class to class, and there maybe be different expectations, how you behave in this class, you don't do it here.
Right.
And so you kind of have to navigate that or feel it out, which I feel like in today's world, students like, wait a second, there's too much uncertainty and inconsistency everywhere else. I need a little more structure here. So that continued communication, the training as well, I feel is there's much more training these days than what you saw 20 or 30 years ago as far as frequency of training.
And I heard this at a conference, and they talked about education in the past has been an apprenticeship of observation. I taught in my classroom the way I saw teachers teaching. I was that good kid, I was the rule follower, I was the one who always turned my homework on time. I had certain ideas about what it is, about spelling tests, and this is how we read stories together. But truly, education has come so far. There is a science to how we teach kids, and it's implementing the science of education, not the observations that we made when we were in the classroom. And the district has been amazing. Dr. Sacco, the Director of Curriculum Instruction and Assessment, is on the front leading edge of finding out what's most effective, because rural education is going to be different than a suburban or urban education. We have different needs. Our kids face different things. Dr. Sacco's on the cutting edge of finding those programs that are highly effective and then implementing them district-wide. So we're lucky to have her as well.
Wow. So many great things. It's almost 10:30. Was there anything else? I see.
I know, we have our notes.
I know, but this has been just a great discussion, but yeah.
I'm going to give you one last thing, because we both do it at both of our schools, and we honor students for doing great things. We have awards assemblies each quarter. We honor kids for coming to school every day, right? For doing great things, for being respectful, or having great character. All these pieces that we honor kids for. Really, I always tell the parents that during the assembly, I said, you can do anything for your kid. Put them to bed early, read to your kiddo, right? Get them to school. Like these things, like let's get hooked on those. Well, one of my classrooms, over half of her kids were there every single day.
That's great.
And that is a big deal. So I had 14 students lined up just for being at school every day. And I am trying to be very intentional with that attendance piece. And so at that, when they came back after the first quarter was done, the ones that had been there had blue ribbons.
Ooh.
And so 100% attendance ribbons, right, on their desks. And I intentionally got them there, put them there early, so that they had them, so people walked in, they noticed, well, why do you have a blue ribbon, right? Why do you have, and so just some of those pieces to try and make sure that we have attendance, because lots of times it is hard here. Like, I didn't get it at first, right? I came from the valley, I didn't get it at first. And I'm like, why are these kids leaving? Why are they, and it's like, but if their parents have a doctor's appointment in the valley, you have to leave. You have to take your kids with you. You have to go. And so those realizations, and but talking to the parents, like, we have Fridays, so if you can schedule something on Friday, right? Let's try that. Or we get out, bookend it, whether in the morning or in the afternoon, but then bring them back. And so all of those discussions. So we also have that piece, like I said, that I didn't realize to begin with of why my attendance looked the way it did until I really did a lot of little background pieces. And people are like, well, we have a doctor's appointment in the valley, or we have this that we have to go to. And so I had to pull them out at 11. And I was like, oh, Linda, know your audience, right? Know your audience, know our people and what we have going. And so, but we still look for that 100% attendance. Like, man, kids need to be there so that they can gather all this information, because we want PES and not just be good, we want it to be great, right? So I think that's a piece.
And it starts in elementary school. It's kind of hard. We know so many things are important in high school, but those skills, those habits start in kindergarten, being there on time every day when you can't, you know, when you're healthy and ready, and that's what we want to build.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're building at the elementary schools for that future for those kids.
Wow, that's great. And you mentioned preschool as well. So, how much of a difference has the kindergarten teachers seen with the preschool program?
Yeah, they're coming knowing their letters.
Yes,
Right?
yeah,
They know
yeah.
their letters. They know some of
Yeah.
the sounds of their letters.
Mm.
Right? A lot of it's that letter identification that they're getting right now and stuff,
Mhm.
but they're doing a fabulous job over there. They really are. And so it's amazing. I sit in transition meetings for these kindergartners that are coming, so the preschoolers coming to kindergarten.
Yeah, yeah.
And just listening, and Ms. Cox going, they know all these letters by sight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we
Yeah.
don't have to start from scratch, right? And so we're already seeing
Yes.
that the fact is that we are not gonna have to spend so much time on this.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
That we can jump into higher levels of learning already with our kinders when they
Yeah.
have those.
And they're ready to be students. They know what it's like to
Yeah.
walk through the school doors. They know what it's like to eat lunch at
Yeah.
school. They know what it's like to sit at their table, to do their work, to write their name, to find their name. They're getting ready.
Yeah, they're learning to learn.
Yes.
there,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's great.
So,
Well, thank you so much for coming on today and sharing, and for all you do as well at PES and JRE for the little ones, and it's exciting, it's great. And I know there are programs, I guess this time of year is where little ones, you get to see them in the Christmas programs and pageants and so on, so I encourage you, to go out, and even if, you don't have kids in school, you just want to be uplifted and, see a bunch of smiling little faces, giving it their all up on the stage. singing
December
Christmas
11th,
songs.
PHS Auditorium,
There you
from
go.
5 to 7 are the concerts for JRE, so we get excited
and I
about
do
that
not
too.
have it like that.
I just
I
looked at
wish
my
I could have
calendar.
just been prepared on that one, but,
It'll be out there.
She's showing me up on that one. I got
It'll be put out.
Yeah,
there.
we will. I'm gonna send it over to you, Chris.
There we go. We will get it out. No, that's great.
Yeah.
Really look forward to that, and I'm sure other people as well in the community. This is a great time of the year. Anyway, the holiday season and the children's Christmas concerts. They just add to it.
Well, and we say it a lot, but we truly mean it from our hearts. It's great to be a Longhorn.
Yes, it is. Well, thank you.
Thank
you, Linda. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, everyone, for listening and watching today. Hope you have a beautiful Thursday. And time to get back to the music here with some ZZ Top, Rolling Stones, Jackson Browne, and more. But first, let's get a quick update from the National Weather Service. Perfect.
Hey.